Well, let's start with On the Road, which both of us have seen. So Walter Sallis's adaptation of Jack Kerouac's classic 50s beatnik novel about a young man on the cusp of the sort of youth revolution who overcomes his writer's block by heading out across America, inspired by his reckless pal Dean, kind of the Neil Cassidy figure. So Sam Riley, who was so fantastic in the Joy Division film 4, is Sal, Garrett Hedlund is Dean, and there are plenty of other people in the film, but the film is essentially, as is the book, concerned with those two. Here's a clip.
Now look who's at my doorstep, old Chad King.
How's it going, cowboy? I'm Sal.
Sal. Strong grip. Yes. Sal and Carlo, the writer pals. I've heard all about you, Gone Cat.
We're here to orient you into the Nietzschean ways of the big bad city. And smoke your weed, of course.
Well, yes, we got plenty of that. Mary Lou, why don't you get on the ball and make us some coffee? My writer friends are here. Come on in. Hey.
And that is pretty much the way the film goes. See, we feel very differently about this. I think I feel more sympathetic towards the film than you do, and we'll come to your opinion in just a second. But
I like the way it's already dismissed.
No, well, it's not.
We'll
okay,
come to your
it's not.
opinion
No, it's not
in a
dismissed. But
moment.
here's the thing. Okay, Sallis has done road movies before. I mean, you look at something like The Motorcycle Diaries, which is the story of two people heading out on the road, and whilst they are on the road, they discover something. I mean, they're on their way to becoming people who become revolutionaries. It's the story of Che Guevara, and they discover other people, and it's about a growing awareness of other people. The thing with this is that it's completely the opposite way around. It's deeply navel-gazing account of this sort of unrequited love affair between these two men who find fulfillment caring about each other, but more caring about themselves. And whereas at one point it may have been very radical to say, okay, I'm going to leave everything behind, I'm just going to go off on the road, I'm just going to look after myself, and I'm going to be led by my own lights. Nowadays, it kind of looks rather boorish, self-indulgent, and a little bit tiresome. The first thing you notice is just how rubbish it will have been, to be a woman in this story, because their primary job, as that thing said, oh, honey, you go make the coffee, their primary job is to make the coffee, to be there for recreational pursuits, to raise children, and to be left behind in various places, and then to be crossed with the men afterwards. And what you've got is great performances by like Kristen Stewart, Kirsten Dunst, who were very, very good at playing these characters who are constantly sidelined. But as you're watching the film, you think, actually, I'd really want to know more about those characters, as opposed to these two rather annoying, self-indulgent people at the centre of the story. The thing is that what Sallis is doing is very faithful to the source. I mean, that problem is inherent in the literary source. I mean, the original version was more faithful. It's just come down from 15 minutes since Cannes. And it's one thing to criticise a film for portraying people who are boorish and annoying, and it's another thing to criticise the film for being boorish and annoying. My problem with it is that it's very earnest, it's very straight-faced. I mean, you look, it's often very hard to get a text like that and get it to come alive on screen. If you look at something, for example, like Gilliam's adaptation of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which I thought was a visually vibrant movie, a lot of people said, well, there's none of the life of the text. It just looks like a kind of arcane period piece, and it somehow doesn't work on screen. Well, I didn't think that was the case with Fear and Loathing, but in the case of The Motorcycle Diaries, in the case of On the Road, I do understand why people have that problem. I think what you have is great performances. I do think Sam Riley is really, really good. I think that the female leads are very, very fine. And I think that it does have a genuine atmosphere of the novel, of the source. The problem is that the source itself has all those annoying undercurrents in it. And you do end up thinking these people are narcissistic, navel-gazing, self-indulgent, concerned only with themselves, boorish, macho. And as I was sitting next to you during the screening, that quality drove you to turn against the film.
It may well be that the problem is the source, which I haven't read. But if the book is full of annoying, self-indulgent, narcissistic people, which you have to watch for a long period, it just felt utterly tedious. And watching annoyingly self-indulgent, narcissistic people take a lot of drugs is also really, really boring. And then they get in a car and they drive a very, very long way while being annoyingly self-indulgent and on drugs. And I just thought it went, I mean, the longer version would have been absolutely indescribably terrible. This felt like 2.5 hours and was only 2.
Okay.
Worth missing.
Well, I know, but I mean, my feeling is, I think it's a solid adaptation of an unfilmable book about annoying people in whose company you may well not want to spend any time at all.
Well,
and I guarantee you they won't put that on the poster.
That's hardly a ringing endorsement, is it?
No,
really?
no, because I understand your criticism. I'm just saying I'm slightly more sympathetic towards the film than you.